Thank you for joining me today. This is Whitney with the Yoga Art Space Studio, and today's practice is a workup for all the chakras, starting from the root and working gradually up the way to the crown. Each chakra will have one or more pose, allowing ourselves to first feel grounded and then gradually work our energy upward toward the direction of enlightenment. And so we begin preparing for a downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up high, and feel free to add in little motions, pedaling the legs out. Any simple motions that feel good, freeing up the legs, freeing up the spine. Allowing yourself plenty of time to be here. Step the right foot forward in between the hands, reach the arms up to the sky, warrior one. Perhaps try to sink a little bit lower. Just make sure the front knee doesn't track past the toes. And then enjoy the height of this posture. Another couple of rounds of breath. With the next exhale, open the arms to warrior two. And feel yourself sink into this beautiful pose. Hips opening, the front knee tracking open to the pinky toe. Now straightening out the front leg, reach the fingers as far as they can and then drop that front hand down, back hand up, triangle pose. Feel the body extending, reaching, but yet feel the feet grounding into Mother Earth as we're working here in these first poses through the root chakra. Return back to warrior two briefly, and then cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Step the front foot back, take a little flow. Lower chaturanga, inhale back bend, exhale downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward in between the hands. Back heel rotates down, rise up, warrior one. Reaching fingers high, the feet are grounded, the fingers are acting in opposition. Opening up warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reach the fingers and then drop that front hand down, back hand up. Triangle pose. It's important to make sure the hips are staying level. We're not collapsing the top hip down, just to reach further. And now as we rise, return briefly to warrior two. And then cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Take another flow. Lower strongly chaturanga. Inhale for a back bend. Exhale downward facing dog. Shifting the energy up to the sacral chakra now. We allow ourselves to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. The back knee can lower. Maybe we drop down to one or to both elbows as we enjoy some time here in lizard pose. Right hip opening. Make sure you don't collapse the ankle. If you're opening the knee wide, the foot stays flexed. Otherwise, keep the knee squeezing in. Coming up onto hands, lift the back knee up, and then prepare to step the left foot up to the top of the mat, that wide edge as well, so that we can sink down into Malasana pose, that yogic squat. So taking the squat, the elbows press the knees open, hands are in prayer position. And the hips. Enjoy this pressing wide open for a few more breaths. Dropping the hands down, we step the right foot back so that left side can take the lunge, that lizard pose. Back knee can drop down. Breath flowing. Inhales and exhales. Step the front foot back. We're in downward facing dog, preparing to shift up now the energy toward the third chakra, the solar plexus. So here we need to work our way up to the top of the mat. Take a moment with a forward fold, hanging heavy. And as we rise, we come right up into fierce pose. The hips sit back, squeeze the knees and the feet together. The arms are extending right up next to the ears. Trying to hold here with steadiness. Feel the core work. Feel the strength of the body. And now as hands come to prayer position, hook the left elbow onto the right thigh. Press the hands down, creating a good twist. Also very healthy for this wonderful chakra. Rising up, twist to the second side. And then return back into the fierce pose. A few more breaths. When we prepare to come out, arch the spine up and back, bring the hands to the heart, and transitioning up to the heart chakra, we take dancer's pose. Catch the right foot in the right hand, left arm extends, and then kick the foot into the hand to try to balance. You can maybe hold 3, 4, maybe 5 breaths, working with the balance, the flexibility, the heart opening. And then rising up, switch to the left foot, extending behind for dancer's pose. Find a place to look at that's not moving. That's called a dristi. It helps the balance tremendously. With the heart opening so beautifully, we now release, dropping left foot down. Take a brief moment to ground, to collect the breath. So now reach the arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the spine halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back to the chaturanga, lowering down to the earth. Inhale for a beautiful back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog, taking that beautiful flow, step by step, breath by breath. We sit down and swing our legs out in front of us. And we prepare for a shoulder stand, working onto the throat chakra. Many people come into it from a rolling position. Catch the hands to hold the back, toes lift up high. It's a balance between strength and flexibility here. That compression on the neck, that squeezing of the chin in, it's very healthy for this throat chakra, helping the blood to pool at this area, helping to introduce much extra oxygen, adding to the health here. Rolling out of shoulder stand step by step. When the hips are all the way down, hug around the knees, just rocking the low back a couple of times. We now come toward the direction of headstand. Know that if a headstand is not in your practice, you do not have to force it. It comes naturally when the body's ready for it. So if you're doing headstand, drop the head down, cupping the hands around it, elbows as wide as the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the hips, walk the feet in as far as you can, and then begin to rise up to the headstand. Now, if headstand's not in your practice, rather than having the head drop down, just take dolphin pose instead. So the same setup with the arms, only the head is not resting down. You still do tuck the toes, lifting the hips with elbows down. That helps to build the shoulder strength until the headstand becomes possible. Now you can feel here the blood coming down toward the head. This is healthy for the third eye chakra, making the brain oxygen rich. Resting in child's pose when you come down. Feel the heart rate calm. Feel Feel the body beginning to relax, preparing to restore itself. Only when you're ready, our last pose of today is our final shavasana pose. This is the pose picked out for the crown chakra, allowing the body to absorb all the benefits. Because the energy has traveled all the way upward, as we close the mind, close the eyes, the breath traveling deep and full, we're allowing ourselves to come into a deep state of consciousness. So just allow yourself to focus on the breath. Long inhales, longer exhales. Stay here for the amount of time you have available in your schedule today. Thank you for joining me. This is Whitney with the Yoga Art Space Studio. May we all be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.